Namaste. I'm Dr. Robert, and my subject today on 5-ish Minutes with Dr. Robert is the transition from winter to spring. It's a subject that is quite topical for me right now because currently I am in the state of Maine, which is a very northerly state in the United States. And currently the transition from winter to spring is ongoing, a little later than other parts of the country where the transition has already occurred. In this context, I would like to quote from an Ayurvedic text. Hemante nichitaha sleshmaha vasante kapha roga krit, which means the kapha, or shleshma, that accumulates during the winter creates kapha-type diseases in the spring. And if you live, or if you have ever visited a place where it snows, you will understand exactly what this means. During the winter, inside the organism, kapha accumulates just like outside the organism, snow accumulates. And when the snow and ice melts during the spring outside, the kapha on the inside starts to melt and starts to flow. Now, if the rivers and brooks and streams and creeks into which all of that snow and ice has to flow, if they are unobstructed and if there is not too much snow and ice, then there will not be a problem. But if there is an obstruction, or if there is a large amount of that snow and ice, then there will be a flood. Similarly, if you have the right amount of accumulated kapha inside you, just enough to give you stability, but not so much that you perhaps accumulated by eating ice cream in the middle of the night in winter, or lying around and having no exercise, or some other kapha increasing factor, then you may have too much kapha, or if you have, as a result of some other causative factors, created constriction in your system, and that could be due to vata or pitta. Vata causes constriction directly. Pitta causes constriction because of inflammation. If for either of those reasons there is constriction, that means there will not be channels that are adequately open to allow the kapha to emerge, and then again the kapha will accumulate, and whichever way the kapha accumulates, it will obstruct the free flow of vata. And when the free flow of vata is obstructed, vata will start to move in the wrong direction. And when that happens, then a pathology will occur. So what do we need to do, therefore, is the question. What we need to do is, during that transitional period, it could be a week, it could be a couple of weeks, it depends on the climate you live in, it could even be a month. That's the time that we want to start doing something to deal with that accumulated kapha before it has an opportunity to turn into a disease. Chayam eva jayat doshan. Always deal with the three doshas, vata, pitta, kapha, when in the state where they are accumulated. Don't wait until they get aggravated. A simple way to do this is to do some sort of fasting. Reduce your food in some way. This was the basis, for example, in Europe of fasting during Lent. The idea was that Lent happens before Easter. Easter happens in the spring. And so one of the purposes of this Lenten food restriction was to assist in getting the accumulated kapha and the various toxins from the stored food out of the body so the body will be ready to deal with the spring. If you have access to panchakarma, then panchakarma is a very good way to get everything to flow, and there will be food restriction associated with that as well. And if you can't do a dramatic fast or do a dramatic panchakarma, you can still start consuming more of desirable spices that will assist your body to deal with that kapha. Cinnamon is a particularly good choice, also cardamom, also black pepper. and there are others. But the important thing to do is first be aware of the fact that at every seasonal joint, every sandhi of every ritu, every season, that transitional period is one that should be addressed in order to promote relief of whatever dosha has accumulated and good health in the season about to happen. This is Dr. Robert wishing everyone in the Northern Hemisphere a happy spring.